Hi.
Hi. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Giulia.
Hi, I'm Emily. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you. Lovely sunflowers in the back.
Yeah, nice little background for
Yeah,
the
we
community.
can talk about such a beautiful film. We really loved it. Um, so we kind of like want to address the people who haven't seen it yet. So I wanted to ask you
Mhm.
to give me a brief description of what the film is about.
Yeah, so Rave is a film that tells the story of a night out. And this night out ends with a girl overdosing on drugs. And throughout the film, we kind of find out who was involved in this narrative, who were the people. And we kind of follow this story, but we do so in reverse. So it's a reverse chronology of a night out, essentially.
Which I found was so interesting because not only like the style and the aesthetics of the film is so beautiful, but it really like keeps you like so engaged in the film to find out like what happened after she had gotten there. Um, how did you? Why did you decide to deconstruct it this way?
I think I kind of had the idea for this storyline, but for a while it never really worked out in my head because you kind of had this interesting thing that happened at the end, but kind of leading up to that, it didn't really work as a narrative. And then at some point, it literally just kind of clicked that, okay, in reverse, this would really work because you kind of start with this incident that this girl overdoses at the club, and then it kind of pulls you in and you want to find out how this happened. So yeah, at some point it just clicked, and that made the narrative work, I guess.
Yeah, it really does. And for me, it played a little bit like a kind of a murder mystery, like a whodunit, in this way that like you don't discover who the murderer is, but you discover like the series of bad decisions and kind of unfortunate events that brought to that moment. Were you inspired by any genre, any film? You know, like Rave made me think a little bit about Victoria. Um,
Mm,
what inspired you?
definitely Victoria came up a lot whilst we were kind of prepping. I guess in terms of the narrative as well, Irreversible being obviously also a film that goes backwards. But yes, Victoria actually did really hit a spot with the kind of cinematography that we were going for as well. A lot of very long shots that kind of move around the actors, which was sometimes a nightmare to choreograph with like shadows and everything. But yeah, and it was definitely a big influence on the shooting style.
Yeah, was there any challenge? I was actually thinking I really love films shot at nighttime because the lights are so beautiful, but also I imagine more difficult to film. And filming inside the club possibly sounds like a nightmare. How did you handle that situation?
So for the club scenes that are actually like in a club, I kind of knew from the start that I didn't really want to just kind of fill up a room with extras and just kind of be like, okay, and now everyone act like you're in a club. I feel like that would have never had the right feel. So the plan was always to actually throw a whole event, just to get people there who are actually just on a night out, and we would be in the crowd shooting the scenes that really needed that feel. So that's kind of how we did it on the final day of shooting. It was kind of like a wrap party and just like the final scene to shoot. And that was definitely challenging. A lot of just shouting over people and losing your actors in the crowd. But it definitely added to the whole feel, I think.
Is this an environment that you belong to? Like, are you close to the Raving subcultures?
A little bit. I actually now live in Berlin, so it's kind of
Not so.
everyone okay. But I wrote the film during when it was still kind of lockdown, so no clubs were open. And I think that really made me think about it in a different way because you kind of yeah, you're not actually in this great fun environment of being out. And I think that also made me want to look at these yeah, not so great sides of that whole subculture and how these decisions, you don't really think about them in the moment, but in hindsight, you kind of sometimes see, okay, that could have ended badly, and in this case, then it does, I guess.
Yeah, I was actually wondering if it was based on an experience in any way of a night out because there's something like when she's in I mean I don't know if that's too many spoilers there,
Spoiler.
but like when she's going through the situation, they feel so relatable, you know, like it could happen to make like a split second that decision. I don't want you to say too much, but like, was there anything there about your own experience?
I think definitely, yeah. I think it was all kind of a puzzle of just thinking about like memories of nights out, and then kind of letting that thought run and actually thinking, okay, what would have happened if I would have done this or wouldn't have done this. So I think it was definitely, yeah, there's definitely moments there that I feel like I've experienced in that kind of environment. And I think that was also a fun part to work out with Beth, who plays Jade, the main actress, to kind of think about like, okay, what was your experience? What was your experience with going out? Like, do you have any stories? And we talked about stuff like that a lot during the first kind of casting meetings, and that was a very fun way to get to know each other as well.
Do you have a specific interest in this world, like the music world? And
I think it's definitely a big part of the work I want to make. I think music and exploring these kind of subcultures is definitely super interesting. I think that with this project, it was kind of a very long process of like writing and also making all the music for it with a friend, and it definitely gave me a chance to like dive into this. So now I'm kind of looking to also see what else there is, like, you know, but I think it was definitely like a really interesting world with all the lights and the sound, and there's so much to explore there in like a visual way. So yeah.
And do you have a next project in the works, or something that you're thinking of getting started on?
Yes, probably another short film that the script is kind of nearing completion, I guess. So that would be, I guess, something that I make over here in Germany, which is the first kind of project I would shoot over here. So it's been a little bit of a longer process to get people together and all of that. But yeah, a lot of writing, a few smaller music videos and all of that as well. But yeah, definitely looking at making another short film.
Have you found any difference between, you know, working in film in the UK and in Germany?
Yes, definitely. I think they're very different industries. Both have their advantages and disadvantages. I think the big one being that like Berlin is a little bit smaller, and it's a little bit like a closer circle, which is very nice. It feels very social. But obviously the opportunities you get in London as well, as like such a big hub for film and culture. I do still want to take a lot of opportunities over there as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're really happy to be screening your film, and you know, we hope to see your next one too.
Yeah, of course.
Well, thank you so much for joining this call and talk about Rave.
Yeah, of course.
And
Thank you for having me.
yeah, amazing. I'll talk to you next time.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.